Okay, y'all, so this is what it will be today. This wonderful tiramisu dessert. I'm so anxious to eat a piece, but I'm even more anxious to show you all how to put it together. It's a wonderful dish, and I would say the only way you'd get it better was if you were to go to Italy yourself. So you guys, let's get over here on the counter and see how we're going to put this dessert together very quickly and then let it sit in the fridge for a little while and then we'll be eating. Okay? Meet you over there on the counter.
Hey y'all. Okay, let's go ahead and get this tiramisu started. In this bowl, I already put 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream. Just a little bit of this. And I'm gonna go ahead and get it started until I can get it stiffened up just a little bit. I'm now adding 1/3 cup of just some granulated sugar, and I'm going to continue to beat. Be patient with it. As you stir, it is going to start, as you mix it, it's going to start to thicken up. So just be patient with it. I'm going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of vanilla to it. Just a little bit of vanilla extract, and I'm going to continue to beat it. And so far, I think I've been going with it for maybe about 10 minutes. So I'm going to continue to go until it really thickens up, okay? Okay, so now you can see how thick it is now. Look, that's what you want to get. And you're not gonna get that in 5 minutes, y'all. It's gonna be about maybe 15, 20 minutes, maybe, before you get this. But this is what you want, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add a mascarpone. This is a little mascarpone cheese, and I'm using an 8-ounce tub, okay? So we get that in there. And once we get this mascarpone in there, what we want to do is basically just get it going just enough to get it well incorporated into the heavy whipping cream mixture. But I'm gonna get all of it out of here, okay? All right. And I just love the little subtle taste of mascarpone. It's really a wonderful cheese. It takes on the taste of almost anything you put in it. So if you put honey in it, it takes on that that little honey taste in there. You put white sugar, powdered sugar with it. It's just a really easy cheese to work with. So let's go ahead and get this mixed in here. Just a second of this. And there, you see, we're done with this part. So now we want to move this, our heavy cream mixture to the side, because you know tiramisu is all about that coffee, okay? So here in this bowl, I've already made me some espresso. If you can find the espresso that is already pre-made in the cans or bottles in your grocer, by all means get it. But I don't seem to have luck in finding it. It seems to always have cream mixed in with the espresso, and that's not what we want. So I just bought my own little espresso and made my own, okay? This is the espresso that I'm using right here. It's a little brand name called Medaglia Dora. Anyway, this is what we're doing here, and I made it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour it in here. And y'all kind of see me looking over to the side right there. I'm looking into the screen, but I'm so sorry about that. I'm trying to get used to this looking and talking into the camera thing. You know, my thing is cooking, not necessarily all this talking. But at any rate, we're gonna get that espresso into the bowl. And that right there is 1.5 cups of espresso, cold espresso. It cannot be warm or melt the mixture when you try to incorporate it all together there, okay? So here's my cold espresso. I made it, sat it in the refrigerator for a couple of hours before I started this recipe. So here we go. And now to that, I'm gonna add some coffee flavored liquor. And in this case, we're doing Kahlua. And I'm doing 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so we get that together, and now we're ready for our lady fingers. So these are the lady fingers that I'm using. I usually don't have much luck in finding these at any store other than Kroger's, so that's been my luck. But what I tell you, if you cannot find lady fingers, by all means you can use pound cake, because these are just like a little sponge cake or something like that. And you can get a pound cake or a sponge cake and cut it into about this size, which they are about 1.5 inches long, and just use those as the lady fingers if you can't find these. Okay, let's go ahead and get these soaking into the coffee mixture. Not soaking, but tossed in the coffee mixture. So we'll be ready to line our pan, okay? Okay, so this is my little assembly. I have my lady fingers, my espresso mixture, and my serving dish. So here we go. Taking the lady finger, putting it into the mixture, just long enough to get it a little bit on there, and right into the pan. You don't want to put these in here and let them soak, because what will happen is they'll disintegrate. So this is all we're doing, lining our pan. And I'm going to continue this process until I have my pan fully lined at the bottom. So this is how we're looking so far, and I have that little space down there, so I'm going to come across this way with my last 2. Remember, don't leave it in there, just toss and put in, and toss and put in. So this is how the bottom of the serving dish looks at this point. And now we'll move on to the next step. Here, and since this is going to consist of 2 layers, I'm basically going to take my mixture and basically just half it so that I have a gauge on how much I'm putting at each layer. So I'm going to take this mixture and I'm basically coming into my pan, and we want to softly put this on here so we do not disturb our layers. Okay, so at this point, this is what it's looking like. I have my cheese and heavy cream mixture all over the lady fingers. Now, I'll tell you this. Traditionally, tiramisu does not have nuts and things like that in it. But I'm a texture person. When I eat my sandwiches, I want lettuce on it, coleslaw or something, because I want that crunch. So I'm going to incorporate a little crunch into my tiramisu. What I've done, I took some, just some pecans here, like this. And what I did was I chopped the pecans up, and I have a few chessman cookies here. And what I did, let me move this back a little bit, okay? I took my chessman cookies and I just took them and broke them up into the bowl with these pecans. And what I want to do is, this is going to be the crunch in my tiramisu. So what I'm going to do, let me make sure I get myself centered here. I'm taking this and basically I'm just coming across this first layer before I put down my next layer of lady fingers. And this is totally an optional step, but it's necessary for me to get that crunch in. And I don't know if anybody else has ever done it this way, because I kind of march to the beat of my own drummer, making my own recipes as we go. The only thing I just want to make sure is good, and that is boozing. Okay, so we just about got this little step right here done. And what we're doing next is putting on another layer of lady fingers. So this is what we're looking like at this point. And now we got our setup again for our lady fingers. And again, remember, we're tossing them in the coffee, or the espresso. And I'm just laying them right on top of, in my case, on top of my crunch. But in your case, if you say, no, I'm not doing it, because that's not traditional with the tiramisu, then skip that step and just continue on top of your heavy cream mixture with the lady fingers soaked in the espresso. Okay, so we're going to continue on with this. And also, what I want to let you know, you can make the non-boozing version of this without using Kahlua, and just use espresso. But the Kahlua heightens the taste of, you know, that I say about that alcohol, that booze, you know, heightens the taste of your food, and that's why I choose to use it. Okay, oops, I broke that one, but you know what? We're coming right on in here, and we're gonna continue on until I have this layer done. And we're finishing up the last little bit here, going into our bowl. So this is what it looks like at this point. You see, okay. So I'm gonna move this out the way, and we're ready to put our next layer of cream mixture on top. Okay, so let me say this right quick before I put the rest of the cream on top of this tiramisu. If you're wondering how many lady fingers that you might need, let me just tell you, I made a little bit larger recipe than I normally do. Normally, I only use 1 pack of these lady fingers, and they usually contain 24 little fingers on each side, and usually that's all I use for my recipe. But for what I'm doing today, I made it a little larger. So if you're doing it in an 8x8 pan, you'll only need 1 pack of these, but kind of monitor your recipe according to how many you're fixing it for. Okay? All right, now let's do this part. So we got our lady fingers here. We got our mixture here. Let me move this out the way. And here we go. We're just gonna put that on. And remember, we're putting it on gently to not disturb the layer of fingers that we have down there. And don't fret. I'll put the recipe in the comment section there, so you'll know exactly how much you need, and then you can double it or 1.5 it according to what you need to do. And y'all know how to cook. Y'all know how to double up those recipes to create just a little bit more. And this is going to be the last layer, as you see, of this cream mixture. So let's get it all out. And that's what she looks like at this point. So now we're coming to the end, and I have a little bit of a cocoa powder here that we're gonna use our little mesh here to come across the top of it. Let me see. I'm right-handed, so let me come across here. I'm gonna put a little bit of this in here, and Okay, y'all. So you know what? It's just that easy and it's done. Look at that. Beautiful, right? It probably could have been a little bit smoother, but you know, it's homemade. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna put it in the refrigerator and let it sit for about 3 or 4 hours or overnight to let it, all these flavors in here just kind of meld together and make it all yummy. So y'all, that's it right there. That's the easiest dessert that you can put together. And again, y'all, I apologize for keep looking over here, but that way I can see my face and see that I'm right in the center of you all. We're working on it. So this is it right here. We're gonna let it sit for a while, and then you know what? You know I'm gonna dig in. So put it in the refrigerator for about 3 or 4 hours, okay? I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, y'all, we traveled a little bit to Italy today, and we got this wonderful dessert done, this crunchy Boozin tiramisu, and oh my goodness, it is everything that I could have wanted it to be. I had a taste for that today, and so that's what we got done. So I hope you all give this wonderful recipe a try. It's very easy to put together. Just get your ingredients there, and as I said during the video, if you are not a person who likes that texture in your food, you don't have to necessarily put the nuts and the cookies in there, because that's not the traditional tiramisu. But I am just crazy about texture in my food, and so that's what I did, and it's very good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a little bit of this, y'all, and get out of your way. And you all, please find the peak in your day. And if you don't find the peak in your day, if you make this, you'll find the peak in this. So I'm gonna go and give me a little bit of this, y'all, and get on. That coffee, that Kahlua, chocolate, all that good stuff. I know I'm gonna get another bite because I'm greedy like that. So here we go.